It's a beautiful sunny day here in the city of Pune, and as the Pune racing season starts to wind down, we get ready for our climax. It is the great one, Nanoli stud Pune Derby.
Set up in 1994 by Mr. Khushru Dhanjiboy in the fertile surroundings on the bank of the Indrani River, the Nanoli Stud Farm has set very high standards within a short span of its being founded. The last decade and a half has seen the Nanoli Stud and Agricultural Farm rise to great heights from a fledgling startup. Today, the Western India-based farm can be counted amongst the most exclusive and result-oriented of the Indian turf, taking high rank right up there with the best of them. The rain-fed Indrani riverbank and their phenomenal success have provided the logical catalyst, and today the Nanoli farm has expanded and now occupies 325 acres. The winning post's first order of business was to ask Mr. Dhanjiboy about his exciting new association with the Capricorn Stud Farm.
Basically, we have taken over the management of Capricorn Stud Farm as such. We are housing a few mares there, and basically we've put in all the systems that we have here at Nanoli with our friend Mr. Desai, and we are hoping to run the show on the same lines. Well, I think definitely I can already see we started in Jan. I can already see a change in the stock that's over there. We are improving the broodmare band. I think we've got a nice stallion in Mull of Kintyre over there. I think probably I don't expect there to be instant results, but I think given a couple of years, I think it should come more or less on par with Nanoli. Yeah.
How does the Nanoli Stud Farm intend to compensate for the loss of one of their champion sires?
Well, we have no plans as yet. We are looking for an opportunity to bring a good horse. Obviously, the loss of Glory of Dancer is immense. It's very difficult to replace a stallion like that. It's the same as saying, will Usha replace Razine, and will, Punalas replace Placerville? I think it's very difficult. I think you've got to be very lucky, I think, in your selection. I think there are some nice horses around. There are some Group 1 winners around, good ratings. There's Varanar at Ruias. So we'll use probably a multitude of stallions, including a couple of our own. And as you know, we are not really a stallion-centric farm. We are more a mare-centric farm. And I think we have a very good broodmares which can support any stallion.
And yes, indeed, since he brought it up, the Nanoli broodmares rate very high amongst some of the best in the country.
I think obviously Rahi Serenade is one of the pick of our mares. But we've got some really nice ones which are in the pipeline. We've got Highland Gilly, which is a daughter, which is coming on really well now. We've got 3 basic lines which we think are now form the foundation mares of after 17 years. So it's not like it's happened instantly. But certainly Ally Serenade seems to be producing good horses every year. We've got Bruckner last year. We've got Picasso this year. Unfortunately, the next year she's missed out, so we don't have anything. But she's got a very nice filly this year also, which is looking quite nice as a weanling. We've got a whole load of very nice Gauda Broads this year. I think our fillies in the yearling lot are better than the colts, which was the other way around last year. But it's always nice to have good fillies, because if they come out and prove, then you really have a broodmare band which you can look forward to, for further breeding.
So how does the Nanoli Stud Farm manage to keep such stringent quality control on their brilliant breeding broodmares?
Well, I mean, it keeps changing. Like last year, we had 108 broodmares. We had, as of this morning, we were down to 51. And we're cutting that down to, by the end of next week, it'll be down to 46 or something like that. My target is to breed on an average no more than 35 to 40 foals each year. Keep the broodmare band really top class. We got 300 acres. If we have 40 babies to bring up every year, I think we're going to do a magnificent job. I think they will have a much better opportunity. So this is the major change we've made this year. We've axed our broodmare band. We'll only sell very selectively. We'll only, whatever I retain, I'll obviously sell shares to friends who I want to race with. I hate racing alone because it's no fun. So if I've got 4 partners in each horse, it's great fun because, you know, then that's really the essence of the game. And hopefully we sell some good ones to other friends who want to race in other centers. And, you know, they will also have an opportunity to have a really good horse. So that way we just cull out mediocrity. We concentrate absolutely on just the best mares. And we hope to make a bigger mark that way.
And always one to give back to the sport, Mr. Dhanjiboy tells us about the Nanoli Stud Farm's close association with the Pune Derby.
Well, I don't know how many years we sponsored, but certainly more than 10. So it's a decade of sponsorship. We like to keep it going, though I want to make it probably the biggest derby, which means there has to be a crore plus coming in the summer to really attract the good horses to come in. Because I think what's happening, the sad thing that's happening in the Pune Derby is becoming very Pune horse-centric. And I really would like to see horses from Bangalore and Hyderabad come here to compete. Now, we are still much lower in the stake money, and I'm going to talk to the chairman, Mr. Jain, about this. And I'm going to say that, look, the club has to put in more money to make it really worthwhile, and we might tweak the sponsorship amount a bit and, you know, get going on it. But it's got to be a crore to the winner to really attract the best horses, you know. And this is what we want. We want, you know, 15, 16 horses, the best in India, the best 3-year-olds at this time of the year to be competing. And I'm hoping that I can convince Mr. Jain to put in more money from the club.
Well, now that was, of course, the Nanoli Stud, but the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby weekend has become very special due to the presence of the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, because they host their annual Oktoberfest in Pune right here.
When you hear the word Oktoberfest, it is almost certain that only one thing comes to mind: Bavarian Beer Festival. Now, with the coming of the Oktoberfest to Pune for the 3rd time, the Puneites have embraced it as a must-do on their annual social calendars. After the phenomenal success of the Oktoberfest last year, which was held in association with Volkswagen India as the lead platinum partner and the Marriott Group as the hospitality partner, the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce is back again with the world's biggest people's fair, the Pune Oktoberfest 2011. The Oktoberfest will showcase the rich German culture in Pune, as well as a unique opportunity to bring to you the German-style beer, food and music. So what if you're unable to make it to the one in Munich? The IGCC has made sure to make your experience in Pune as special as the Bavarian Beer Festival. So there you go, sit back and enjoy the essence of the Munich Festival with all kinds of German music and food. Join us in the largest beer festival coupled with the best 3-year-olds in the country while they try to add the Pune Derby to their illustrious resumes. All on one amazingly entertaining afternoon. It's back to the racing now.
Well, and as you can see, it's all happening here at the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby at the Oktoberfest. German food, German beer, a white women's song. What more can we ask for? We'll take a short break on that. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Flying high, you and me, flying high, you
Kingfisher Airlines, now connecting the US to India through Dubai, Hong Kong, Bangkok, London and Singapore.
Welcome back to the Fly Kingfisher winning post, and as the festivities of the Oktoberfest continue at the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby weekend, we've got two feature races for you. We begin with the Nosher and Dolly Dhanji Boy Sprint Million. That's up first.
The Nosher and Dolly Dhanji Boy Sprint Million, sponsored by Khushru Dhanji Boy in memory of his parents, saw 10 top Indian sprinters vying for supremacy. Each of the 10 looks capable of extending the other, and it reflected in the bookmakers' ring too, with the field being available at 6-1 and above. We are looking at them in the paddock then, and going first to Attila. Consistency at the very highest level defines Attila's career till date, with victories in Mumbai and Bangalore earlier this year under his belt, as well as an emphatic victory in the Sprinters' Cup on Invitation Cup weekend. He leaves us in no doubt about his ability and class. Next up for scrutiny is Beautiful Stranger from SS Shah's Yard, who had 2 runaway victories earlier at the start of the season. Coincidentally bred at the Nanoli Stud Farm and in rousing form this season, this horse has the pedigree and the form and all the required credentials to pull off this race. Up next is the mercurial maverick Waizu from Faisal Abbas's Yard, who has won his lead-up race in rather dominating fashion and is also the winner of the prestigious Dr. S.C. Jain Sprinters Championship in Mumbai. A very honest performer and a filly in form, Elizabeth represents Mr. Dhanji Boy's sole contender in this race. The rest of the field could simply not be ignored, with genuine top-class sprinters like Forest Flare, Portrush, River Star and Pepe Jr. all looking capable of landing the spoils. So when the 10 left the parade ring for the start, the bookmakers' ring was testament to what an open affair this race was, with 6s being the lowest odds in this race.
We're off and racing for the Nosher and Dolly Dhanji Boy Sprint Million, a lovely even dispatch from the gates. And as they settle down to race, Pepe Jr. being pushed to take up the running from Attila coming over on the outside. Very close behind them is Cape Farah on the inside race. On the outside there is Waizu, between them Elizabeth. Very close behind is Beautiful Stranger, then comes Mighty Crusader, the widest one out, River Star and Portrush in that order, with Forest Play in the middle. As they pass the 800-meter marker, Pepe Jr. just a shade ahead of Cape Farah on the inside race. A length for the back there's Attila, 2 lengths for the back there's Elizabeth. On the fence on the outside there's Waizu, then comes Beautiful Stranger, Forest Flare, Portrush together. Second last is River Star. Last of all now is Mighty Crusader as they begin to negotiate the home turn. Pepe Jr. comes in on first, about a neck in front of Cape Farah being pushed to the stage. On the outside, Attila come under the stick, a length and a quarter further back. There's Elizabeth looking for room. Then there's Forest Flare, Beautiful Stranger, all bunched up together. Portrush also making headway with about 200 meters more to run there. Attila has taken up the running, about 3/4 of a length in front of Elizabeth coming up with a challenge on the inside race. Then comes Portrush and Forest Flare with about 100 meters more to run. Attila is now fighting it out from Elizabeth. It's Attila from Elizabeth. Attila and Elizabeth. Attila wins it from Elizabeth.
So Attila just pulls it off from Elizabeth, bob of the head separating the two there, and Pacey Shroff, even though he wasn't at the track, must have been very, very proud. We caught up with the connections of Attila immediately after the race.
Absolutely, all the time. I expected a close race, and it was a close race. I would give a lot of credit to the jockey for winning this race for us. Oh, that's true. This horse was actually selected by none other than Rashid Bairamji. But I asked Pacey, who's been my icon since he was a rider, that what would you like to have? And he said, it's not fair for me to tell you. I said, no, I insisted. And he wanted Attila. I angered Rashid, but I told Rashid that I'll never see this horse again because I'll never come to Bangalore. It was with Pacey, and Pacey sent a word saying, I will win. The only danger would be Elizabeth, which came a short head second.
Well, it couldn't be more close than that one, and Attila gets it on the nod from Elizabeth. On that note, we'll take a short break and come right back on the Fly Kingfisher winning post. When we come back, it's the big one, the great one, Nanoli Stud Pune Derby. Don't go anywhere.
flying high, you and me, flying high, you and me.
Kingfisher Airlines, now connecting the US to India through Dubai, Hong Kong, Bangkok, London and Singapore.
Welcome back to the Fly Kingfisher winning post, and as you can see, the jockeys are on their way to the parade ring where the horses are being shown around for the big one. It is the Nanoli stud Pune Derby. It's a Grade 1 race over 10 furlongs.
The Nanoli Stud Pune Derby Grade 1 entered the sweet 16th year for the sponsors, the Nanoli Stud Farm. Every year, the Derby has seen fierce competition and has thrown up some precocious 3-year-old talent that have gone on to garner further glories on the Indian turf. The current lineup too is a tough set, and the timekeepers and the bookmakers alike were having the toughest time in zeroing in on a particular favourite. Looking at the aspiring champions in the paddock, you will understand why there was no specific raging fancy. And to discuss with me how they look in the parade ring, I am joined by Mahindra Malia.
Well, thank you, Niyal. And just as we move into the paddock, Cardinal is the one that catches my eye. A very good looking horse. He's just had 2 runs in his budding career to date, and he has already built a reputation of sorts.
Moving straight on to the second horse we see here, Invictus from Imtiaz Seth's yard, has won his last start, but with Trevor in the saddle, Trevor will have to pull off so much if Invictus is going to win this Pune Derby.
Lake Michigan there has won back-to-back races, but has shown little to imagine that he could be a giant killer. In his defense, Lake Michigan is in top form. He has won races, he has been displaying good track trials and is in good condition too. Very fit.
We move straight on to Maddox, horse number 4, ridden by Y.S. Srinath, winner of the Bangalore Derby, and Maddox himself is looking a picture. He's won his 2 prep races, including the General Rajinder Singh Ji, very convincingly. Definitely will stay, and Y.S. Srinath personally believes that this horse has a very live chance.
Marauder, true to his name, got away bullying the opposition last time out, but that was a class 4 set. This is a much bigger stage for Marauder, though he's got the pedigree and the bloodline to stay the distance. For him to win this race, he'll have to pull himself to a much higher level.
We move now to Picasso, the winner of the Poonawalla Breeders Multi-Million in Mumbai, a horse who has so much potential. His last start in Hyderabad is best ignored. He looks a picture in the paddock, and with Christopher Alpha to guide his fortunes, you just can't write Picasso off.
Pronto Star in all probability is here for a specific role, that of a pacemaker. He would be expected to connive with Maddox for his connection, and the chances of his winning the big race are more or less remote.
We move now to Saratoga Spring. Trained by Satish Naradu, this horse comes in to take a crack at this derby all the way from Bangalore. 2 prep races don't indicate the best of form. I know Satish Naradu thinks very highly of this horse, but I highly doubt that this gelding is going to win this derby.
Well, Saratoga Springs Nyal is still a maiden, and so is Suryaveer, the next horse we are looking at. This horse is in a hunt for a derby triumph. It's just a fantasy, I would say.
We move now to a horse with a very live chance. Haunting Fantasy, the winner of the Shapoorji Pallonji Fillies in Mumbai, was subsequently disqualified. But this horse has shown that distance will not be a problem, and with Rajendra in the saddle, you can't write Haunting Fantasy off. She's got the pedigree, she's got the looks, and Karthik Ganpati definitely thinks very highly of her.
Well, finally we come down to Hills and Stars, who comes into this race with an inspiring victory in her last race. She accelerated in the final furlong, and she was finishing on really well. That hints at a good staying ability, and Hills and Stars comes about as one of the top line contenders. I know it's a big ask to predict the 1, 2, 3 in this race. It's a very open, wide open race here, but I would still tilt towards Cardinal, who's been on the upgrade. Hills and Stars and Picasso, the winner should be between them. They're off and racing for the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby Grade 1. Left standing in the gates there, losing a distance is Picasso. And as they settle down to race, it's Pronto Star who darts into the lead, about 2 lengths in front of Invictus, moving into second position. Towards the rails there is Maddox as they pass the 1800 meter marker. A length and a half further back there's Lake Michigan being joined by Haunting Fantasy on the outside. Very close behind them is Saratoga Spring on the outside. Towards the rails there is Hills and Stars, a gap about 2.5, 3 lengths further back there is Suryaveer. Then comes Cardinal. A length and a half further back there is Marauder, and still about 6, 7 lengths adrift is Picasso. The racing past the 1400-meter marker now, with the Pronto Star just a shade ahead of Invictus, moving in closer into second position. A length and a half further back there is Lake Michigan. Towards the inside is Maddox. On the outside there is Haunting Fantasy. Very close behind them comes Saratoga Spring. Making a forward move there is Hills and Stars. So too is Cardinal. A length further back on the rails there is Suryaveer. After that comes Marauder, and about 3 lengths away now is Picasso. And as they approach the 1000-meter marker, Pronto Star still about 3/4 of a length in front of Invictus in second position. A length and a quarter further back on the fence is Maddox. Then on the outside there is Lake Michigan. A length and a quarter further back is Haunting Fantasy and Hills and Stars together. A length and a half further back there is Cardinal making a forward move. Towards the inside race is Suryaveer. Then comes Marauder, and joining the pack now is Picasso as they begin to negotiate the home turn. Lake Michigan now takes over the running. 3/4 of a length in front of Hills and Stars, quickly moving into second. A length and a half further back there's Maddox being pushed at this stage. Cardinal also making his presence felt on the outside with about 350 meters more to run. And it's Hills and Stars who's stolen a march. He's gone away about 2.5-3 lengths in front of Cardinal, trying hard to chase. Then comes Marauder with about 200 meters more to run, and Suraj Naredo is driving Hills and Stars for an emphatic victory here. It's a derby double for the other ones, with Ocean and Beyond last time, Hills and Stars this time. Hills and Stars is the new champion, winning by about 3 lengths in front of Cardinal, finishing up second. Long way back was Marauder.
So Hills and Stars is the star in the Nanoli stud Pune Derby, the Wadwans getting back-to-back Pune Derbys, and Suraj Naraidu with his first Pune Derby. Mahindra Malia caught up with the connections immediately after the race.
Well, I think it is fantastic. There's full marks to my good friend and partner Rakesh Vadavan, who buys good horses, and we do everything to win all the classics only. We always thought she's the best stayer in the lot, and she did that because she is very light frame flea. So we said, we just give her one race in Pune and then we go for Derby.
Firstly, I'm really happy that I cracked the big one after a long time. She ran a superb race. She was in a handy position all through the way. At the top of the straight, when the pace was slowing down a bit, I needed to make my move. I made my move at the top of the straight just before the 3 furlong. She responded very gamely, and the moment she took a break of 2-3 lengths at the top of the straight, I knew now it would be difficult for anyone to catch me. She's a brave-hearted filly, and fully credit should go to the trainer, who's done a marvelous job with his horse.
The Dhanji family applauded the magnificent record-breaking effort put in by Hills and Stars, and Prem Tharani was all smiles while collecting this trophy. Trainer Vinayak was pleased as punch to collect his memento from his ex-boss Mr. K.N. Dhanji, and Suraj Naraidu was thrilled to bits to have emulated his father and uncle and won his first Pune Derby.
Well, and what a quality filly, Hills and Stars, and we congratulate her connections for that superb win. Well, that's all we have on this episode of the Fly Kingfisher Winning Post. Thanks for joining me till I see you next week. I'm Mohit Lalwani saying goodbye, and may the horse be with you.
The Fly Kingfisher Winning Post is powered by the Serum Institute of India and Hirko Industries.